Yeah, I hope the
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's time for Friday Night Lights. Before we begin, hope everybody had a very happy Thanksgiving. Very thankful for you guys out there. And of course, for my friends, Willie Walls and the great Swame Odell Blocker. Did you guys have a great Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was blessed. It was good. Good to be with family.
You know what, Doc?
All right. Did you watch today's Jet game?
Yeah.
I worked, but I saw a little bit of it. But man, listen, man, it's such a waste of defense.
You know? It is. It is. It's a true waste of defense. It is. Jalen Waddle played a little bit better than I think a lot of people expected. But let's turn our attention to the main slate, to this weekend. Try to get people paid. Let's kick it off with a pretty good game, guys. Jacksonville on the road at Houston, Texas, 47.5. Willie, I think there's a lot to like here. I think I love some Christian Kirk this week. I love some Evan Engram, who's scored 0 touchdowns up to this point, by the way, 0. Nico Collins is in play. Tank Dell is in play. You like this game, or are you not using it?
I like it, Doc. I mean, I think it's a game, but I'm gonna be higher on other games than this game. But this game is definitely in play. I think the thing that's interesting to me is everybody's talking about, when the receiver came back when they came back, that unlocked Zay Jones. When the receiver came back, what's the receiver that came back?
Zay Jones.
Suspension, dog. When Jones
Calvin
came
Ridley.
back.
Calvin Ridley.
No. Yeah, Ridley.
Ridley is better when Zay Jones is on the field.
Right. Zay Jones gets in his natural, Ridley gets in his natural position. And this is still, even though he had the game last week, it's still the game for me. Out of anybody else, I'll be more interested in Ridley than than that, because I think Zay Jones coming back puts everybody in its right place. So I think it's interesting, but it's hard to get away. Hard to get away from the man that come from Houston. Adele, man, he is a monster. This guy is going nuts. So I think this game is in play if you want to stack it. I mean, but I'm a little leery. He had a great game last week, but I know how sometimes 2 games in a row. I got other quarterbacks that I want to pay up for. I got other quarterbacks I want to pay down for that I'm going to have more interest. But this game do have fantasy goodness in it. Adele is definitely a man of interest. He's hot. He scored 20 points against him last time. So I don't mind you going back to Dale, but I just think that the quarterback for Houston is priced a little too much for me. He's too close to Josh Allen, who is probably my favorite quarterback on the slate. But go ahead, Swami.
Swami, what about Travis Etienne? Maybe. What about Trevor Lawrence, Stroud? Any guys in this game that you really find that you're into playing?
I think so. I think obviously Dell is looking like he's probably one of those guys that you want to have in there. I think I'm gonna disagree slightly on Stroud. I think he's probably better than he was in the week 3 contest. I think that if this game has a little bit more back and forth than they did in week 3, which I think it could, I think that would mean that Lawrence would be a play because Ridley and Kirk seem to be switching on and off weeks. I think this week, I think it's probably a Kirk week. I'm not mad at Ingram. I think the last game he had 8 targets and he led the team in receptions in the first game. But I would probably be more interested in Kirk. I think ETN had a nice game. He didn't get in the end zone because they didn't score a lot of points. But if he could get into the end zone, it would bring his fantasy numbers right into that sweet spot for being able to take something down, especially on a week like this. So I'm very interested in this game. I've definitely got some interest in ETN. I heard you mention him, Doc, on First Look. I think he's definitely a man of interest. I like Kirk, and I like Tank Dell, and I think Stroud is one of those quarterbacks that you want to consider this week.
Yeah, ETN, the last time they played, guys, 19 carries, 88 yards, 4 receptions, 50 yards. You put that game together, you find the end zone just once, and that's a boom game. That's a winning play kind of game. And the Texans pass defense, Stingley's back. Do you think he covers Ridley? Because I think that the Texans are pretty good on the back end. I think they're pretty underrated in the back end. Swami, are you like? Does that make you not want to use Ridley as much, and use ETN more?
It would, because I like Stingley, but I think Houston's defense has been playing okay, and I think they're in a decent spot this week from a value perspective at 2,600. But I just feel like, depending on how you got this game going, and because I think they should fare a little bit better at home. I'm talking about on the Houston side of it. Right, I think I'm good with that side, but I don't know if Jacksonville is going to show up and carry some of that momentum over from last week. I am hoping that they are, because that's the Trevor Lawrence they're going to need for us to, to get the kind of game that we want as far as fantasy goodness.
You see, 100%. I just don't trust them like that, and that's why I like the game, but the prices have gone up substantially for everybody. So and see, I got interest in other games that I think I could get. I got better rates that could really go off in these next games. So I just like the other stacks a little better. And I think a lot of people are laying off that Buffalo game, but there's a lot of things that you could do by paying down the quarterback, getting higher price guys. So things you can do to maneuver that.
All right, we're getting to the Buffalo game. Easy.
Okay, I got you.
Grasshopper, patience.
Oh, good.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, no Matt Canada. Jaylen Warren finally got a chance to be involved. Easy there, Swami. I'm going to give you a couple of players I like in this game. 1, I like Jaylen Warren. 2, Pat Freiermuth is practically free. If you want to play Willie's game with all those Bills and Eagles, you may have to go find him at $2,900. 3, what about Deontay Johnson, who's been waiting to see a ball thrown in his direction? And then 4, who's to say Jamar Chase isn't going to get like 15 targets from Jake Browning, who's only going to be looking at one guy? Willie, do you like any of these players in this game?
They're going to have to beat me. I think the guy, 2 guys I might have interest in. I might especially have interest in Jaylen Warren. Maybe now they won't have it. It's more of a split. Maybe they just give him the backfield with the new coach. See, it's a lot of unknowns there, and it might be picky. It's a lot of unknowns that we don't know what's going to happen here, because obviously they didn't like this guy. The guy was putrid. I mean, the offense sucked, So, but it's a lot of unknowns here. So, and this Browning guy, listen, I'll play Chase for DFS purposes, not DFS for season-long purposes, but hell no, he will not find one lineup for me, because I don't trust this Browning guy. I don't trust him. So I'm not gonna go there in this game. But I do think there's a couple, because my backs that I want to pay for this week is right in this range that I'm looking for, and I got one of my favorite backs on the slate is playing in that Tampa Bay game. But anyway, we'll get to that when we go there.
Swami, Willie mentions the unknown. Can we take advantage of the unknown here? Right? We don't know what Pittsburgh is going to look like. We assume the worst. What if it's better than the worst? And, I mean, can you play any of those guys? Can you play anybody in this game?
Doc, I once heard from General Smith that you can't put lipstick on a pig, which means, Doc, that just because you dress it up and just because you want it to be something that it's not, or just because you put lipstick on it, Doc, it does not mean it's not a pig. And Pittsburgh Steelers are just flat out bad on offense. They haven't given us a lot to celebrate. It's very much hit or miss. They don't do anything with any consistency. Johnson hasn't been involved. Pickens or Pickett, you can't count on none of these jokers. And guess what? Even the people who've been getting away in season long and in DFS for playing Warren, I promise you won't make a living off of playing somebody with 9 carries and you hope one of them break one. He's decent, but he's not in a Doc, from a price perspective, him or Najee Harris, like I said, coin flip, pick which one you like. But neither one of them are getting enough touches for you to trust them, and neither one of them are going to benefit from the offense only scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns tops in a game.
Now, did you hear that from General Smith or Colonel Walls? That's my question. You'll get back to me now. All right.
Could have been Colonel Walls.
You heard a lot of stuff from Colonel Walls, I'm sure. All right.
With that rascal.
Carolina and Tennessee, guys. Carolina is a 36.5 points in this game. Tennessee's a mess. I'm going to give you one name. Actually, I'm going to give you two, just two. Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins. I am going to play Derrick Henry on FanDuel. I will not play him on DraftKings. I will play him on FanDuel because I think he has a realistic chance of finding the end zone twice. Swame, do you disagree?
I don't. Well, first, I did want to mention Hudson at 2,700 for the Bengals is of interest. I just wanted to put that out there.
Tanner Hudson's in. Okay.
Back from a value perspective. He's been getting about at least 8 fantasy points over the last 3 or 4 games. Man,
all right, I'm way past Tanner Hudson now. Talk to me about Henry and Hopkins.
All right, Henry and Hopkins. Henry has been so disappointing. And I'm just talking about even his touches. Even when there's times when Henry hasn't gotten there from a fantasy perspective, you could count on him getting the touches. I don't know what kind of game is going on there. I don't know if he has done something to one of these coaches, if he's taken out the offensive coordinator's, daughter, or even worse, maybe his ex or something. I don't know, but it's not good. And the fact that he's not getting the ball concerns me. We know that the King is a volume kind of guy. You get him the ball, he start getting the ball, 12, 15, 20 touches, he wearing them down, and he's putting up these big fantasy numbers, and he's breaking these long runs late as he wear them out and the game go on. This offensive line is bad. This team is bad. The coaches are bad. And for that reason, even with a price as awesome as he's priced this week, I would be very cautious about playing King Henry. And that quarterback and Hopkins are so up and down. You just hoping that they're throwing it late and he gets something. So
Willie, Henry Hopkins.
I have interest in Henry. I disagree. This will be the type of game that they're finally going to be favored in. That this is the kind of game he has, and the known stat that a lot of people don't know is King Henry in late November and December, his rushing yards go up from 4.2 to 5.2. So he gets strong. So this is finally the type of game where you might be able to take a shot at Henry, and I'm gonna take a couple of shots at him. Against this poorish run defense of Carolina. So I'm going to take a couple of shots at King Henry today.
I agree.
These are the guys at 6,200, 6,100 are the kind of guys that I'm interested in this slate, so I can get my other guys that I want to get in this game. So I'm looking at the 6,800. Yeah, I'm looking at all the backs in the 6,000s.
I said from a price perspective and who he is. I even respectfully called him the King. But when you quote his stats and you tell me what he do in November, you tell me the last time he had a 5-game stretch, we had 13 carries, 12 carries, 11 carries, and 10 carries. If you can give me the stat, if you can't give me,
I understand that. All I'm saying is, and this is why it's a GPP play. Stop get your big boy draws on, sir. I'm going to take a couple of shots because this will be the type of game where he have 20 carries for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. This could be his type of game.
It's just the ass PP play.
I don't agree. I think Henry is a great play on FanDuel because FanDuel is half-point per reception. I get the touchdowns. If he finds that end zone twice, I'm not saying DraftKings. I will not touch him on DraftKings. I won't. But on FanDuel, if he finds that end zone twice, I may take down a tournament.
At that price, yeah. And it's still King Henry. I agree
and
with
60, and if he's a play on one side, Doc, I disagree on this. He could be a play on DraftKings too. What I'm saying is,
but on draft, but Rashad White could catch 5 passes for 50 yards. And
did it? Why can't you play Henry and White?
I can, but there's a reason why. Because I'm 100,000% playing Jerome Ford.
Interesting.
Like literally, I want him literally, I want him etched in my lineup.
Against that defense, that defense I respect.
Let's get to that.
Are you telling? Did you see what Ty Chandler did against the Denver defense? Did you see what James Cook did against the Denver defense? Let me tell you something. Jerome Ford, if you give him a crease, is going.
You know what? I digress. Okay. I stand back. I remember that.
Easy. Stand down, soldier. Stand down.
All right.
All right. Let's get to the Saints against Atlanta. This game could be a little messy. This game could be a little ugly. You know, you've got so many talented players. You got Chris Olave. You got Rashid Shaheed. You got Kamara. You got Taysom Hill. You got Bijan. You got Ritter. You got Pitts. You got Drake London. But Willie, I feel gross just even talking about this game.
Next.
Doc, I'm your Huckleberry. You bring it this way. Bring the camera. What's camera? Camera 3? All right, bring it in. Hey, Doc, listen, I'm going to agree with you, Doc. First, this one of those rivalry games, right? We got folks traveling from New Orleans to Atlanta. They doing all of the hoopla. Doc, they can't wait. I'm telling you, this is one of those games where there's going to be a ruckus in there. It's going to have a lot of energy. And it's a chance. I'm not saying if I'm on the 51 side or the 49 side, but there's a chance that this game has some fantasy goodness. Carr's a man of interest. Olave's a man of interest. Rashid's a man of interest. Guess what? On the other side, Doc, I heard you mention again here and on First Look, you think Drake is very interesting. I think Bijan is right there next to interesting. But I think that Mr. Pitts could be a man of interest this week based on matchup as well. It could be something here. Don't be surprised, Willie. You were naysaying.
Hey, listen. Hell no. Carr, okay. No. I would have interest if Jameis was throwing, because Olave would be a man of interest because I know he throws the ball deep and he gives him the ball. Hell no, I'm not playing this at that price. No, I'm not. No, thank
you. Let me ask you about the receivers
in this game.
Derek Carr is going to play. Is Olave playable? Is Rashid Shaheed playable? Are they playable?
I will only play Shaheed because of the price point if I was going to play anybody. But Carr, listen, he's a sprayer. He spreads it around. He doesn't give the ball to Olave like he should, because that's one thing I will say that Jameis does is he locks on Olave, and Olave gets a lot of targets when Jameis is there. He don't get it from Carr.
I don't think that's what a sprayer is, but anyway.
Do you remember when you were a kid, they said, say it, don't spray it, and some guy would spit in your face?
Playing quarterback there. I don't know what he's talking about anyway.
All right, so Swame, Chris Olave on Prize Picks is 14. His fantasy score is 14. That tells me that Vegas thinks that Olave is not going to suck.
I don't think he's going to suck, but we need, to me, if Olave hits that, then it's more back and forth in the game than what I think people are expecting. And if that game happens, I think it has to put somebody else in play. It can't just be Olave. It's who else is coming along with Olave.
Last question. Desmond Ridder at 4,800. Can you play him?
If you play him, and he is home. It is a rivalry game. If you play him, then to me, you're going with that London and Pitts kind of combination coming back with Olave. We try to put something down, Doc. That's the kind of chance we're going to have to take if you go that route.
All right, let's get to this next one. I like this game a whole lot. Tampa Bay against Indianapolis, 44.5. Willie, I just have a feeling you like this game too. Gardner Minshew's in play. Jonathan Taylor, Rashad White, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman. Giddy up in this game, my friend.
Yeah, listen, first of all, lately Minshew has been Ashew, but this time he could be unleashed. It's the time to get back on the Minshew. I'm going to definitely have Minshew, and this is how you can get some of those expensive people in that other game that we'll go to in this game here from this game. Minshew is definitely in play. Pittman is a man of interest. You know, he gets a boatload of targets, and Tampa Bay's pass defense is cheeks, but my favorite play on that other side, I do like Mike Evans. And Rashad White is probably one of my favorite backs on the whole slate. You know, I'm not going to get too much down at the tail on the other side. I don't like going against that run defense in Tampa. You know, I'd rather go through the air. So I'd rather take Rachaad White. Listen, if this dude could get 17 points on that 49ers defense, you know what I mean? The dude he's earned my respect this year. So whatever stuff I said about it, and his line kind of sucks too. So he's a great pass receiver, man. This guy is one of the best pass catchers from a running back that we have in the league. You know, he is up there, and he's been balling. And I think easily in this game he could get 20 to 25 points, which will be needed in this slate at 6,100. I love him. I think you could play Baker too. I think you could play Baker. You can play the tight end with Baker, and then come back with Pittman. I mean, it's many ways that you can go in this game, but I do like this game a lot. I think this is some fantasy goodness in this game, and the best thing about it is people are not breaking your bank. You know, so you can stack this game, and you're not breaking your bank. So yes, I have interest in this game.
Swame, I like this game just like Willie does. Taylor, I see where Willie's going with that. Would you double stack it with like Minshew and Downs if you liked it, or would you just skinny stack it?
First of all, Doc, let me just say that I'm gonna totally disagree with playing Baker Mayfield. I think that's probably a tough play this week. I think on the road, I think I still got the Colts being pretty good against the pass, and just for that reason, there's a lot to not like about Mayfield. So I'm gonna stay away from Baker. I do like the other side of it, and to answer your question, to play the other side, I'm interested in either Pittman's, Downs, or some combination of either one of those guys. I think I would stay away from anything else, and then coming back with White. So I'm not mad at Minshew at his price. You go Minshew Pittman or Minshew Downs, and you come back with White, and you leave the rest of that alone. And that includes Mike Evans, and that includes Baker Mayfield.
Wow. Swami usually likes Mike Evans. All right, let's get to the Patriots and Giants. I'm literally going to give you two names here. Saquon Barkley, Ramondre Stevenson, maybe Demario Douglas. Swami, do you like any of these guys?
Doc, that's kind of tough. But I'll tell you what. I think Ramondre Stevenson at that price, we talking DraftKings, I think 5,800 is a very good price for him. I think what they might be able to do if they get, if he gets the touches, he gets the targets, I think he'll be okay. And he can probably, hit a nice number. I don't know if I'm liking Barkley as much. And I'm not real big on Douglas this week, only because I don't think I like Danny DeVito a whole lot more than I like this other DeVito. So until his son gets it together, yeah, he had a decent game last week. If he can bring some of that old, and it's more back and forth. When it's not enough back and forth, I don't want receivers who I don't think where the volume's not there. So give me Ramondre, keep the rest of it.
What about you, Willie? You like Saquon at all?
Pass. This was they went against the Commanders. Just remember that. You saw what kind of give up the Commanders are ass cheeks. Rivera, you need to go. You suck. Get him out of there. And that Bieniemy, coach, man, they suck, man. So
you want Eric Bieniemy to be your head coach?
Huh?
You want Eric Bieniemy to be your head coach?
At least to give him an opportunity.
That's true. He deserves that. I mean, he deserves the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm saying give him an opportunity.
All right, Cleveland against Denver. Denver's played a whole lot better. But that said, nobody on Denver feels like a fantasy star. Maybe Javonte Williams, maybe Cortland Sutton. I just don't know who I'm playing on the other side. I told you I like Ford. And David Njoku, the Broncos have been really bad against opposing tight end, Swami. Is there any piece in this game you like, or are you just going to pass on it?
Doc, I'm not very interested in this game, and I'll tell you why. I think you guys talked about, a couple of games. I think you said, what Cook was able to do, and then I think it was another game where Chandler was able to do a little something. I think in both games, I would probably say I like their quarterbacks a little bit better. And I think because they had better quarterback play, it kind of opened some things up sometimes. And then, the defense isn't able to kind of focus on the running game. But once you're kind of one-dimensional, it's kind of hard to get things going. The game last week was very telling. They weren't able to do much. The quarterback wasn't asked to do much. He wasn't able to do much. They kind of relied on the defense. I think they will again here. This game, I don't know. I don't even think it'll hit 30 points. Everything about this game says it'll be somewhere around 6-9. And I don't want any part of a 6-9 game. But if you would ask me who I'm interested in, I think Njoku at double-digit targets. Anytime you're getting a guy getting double-digit targets at that price, he's a man of interest. And I think, I've heard you guys are talking about Ford a whole lot. I'm still not. I don't love the split. And I can see Ford getting it between the 20s and then this doggone Hunt running in there 1 touchdown. And I just don't like that either, Doc. But I see what you're saying with him. It's something about this total I just don't like.
No, you're right. You're right about the total. Willie, do you like any pieces here that you could live with?
I was just looking at Ford, but man, they played. The other dude could get the touchdown. I hear what you're saying, but see, the difference is, like last week. Yeah, I know Chandler did his thing, but Minnesota's a better team offensively. The quarterback is smart, very intelligent.
Rocket scientist.
I mean, the guy is like just a genius. Oh yeah, I'm going to NASA. This dude right here who played for Cleveland. If you saw how he looks, oh my God! Hell no, I ain't playing for it. I'm going back to it. Look at this picture, and you tell me whether you're gonna play them or not. No, it's a defensive ball game. No. You look at that picture.
Willie's looking at pictures and deciding that he's not playing guys in DFS.
I'm just saying,
awful.
They're
awful. It does not reflect the views of Dr. Roto. Let's
look at the picture. You say, I ain't playing nobody from Cleveland.
Do you ever see that skit where Jimmy Fallon puts up guys on the Tonight Show and they look all whack and he comes up with like funny things about them? All right. The best 3 games, let's talk about them. I think they are the best 3. Let's start out with my least favorite of the 3, Kansas City and Las Vegas. But there are things I like about this game. I think Travis Kelce is going to score. I think Pacheco is going to score. I think Mahomes is going to play well. I think the Chiefs' defense is probably my favorite defense. On the other side, you have Myers, Adams, Jacobs. Swame. Are you spending up for the Kelce's? Are you spending up for Rashee Rice against his own defense? Anything here you like?
Doc, you are so excited right now. I can feel the excitement. I'm almost afraid to disappoint you guys right now. I have very little interest in this game. Let me tell you why. First, Mr. Kelce. Last 3 games, 27 yards, 25 yards, and 38 receiving yards respectively. He hasn't cracked 40. He has the one game where he had the 4 touchdowns, even though he had 25 yards. Am I interested in this game? No. Your guys also pointed out on First Look, say, hey, they just not blowing people away right now and putting up these huge scores right now. This offense is still formidable, right? They're still efficient. They still look great from a play calling perspective, but they don't look like, world beaters right now. And so for that reason, I'm not paying up for these guys. I heard Walls talking about Pacheco, the 10 carries. No, thank you. You don't know if he ever going to find the end zone. Now, I saw 3 different people in the backfield last week, and he wasn't one of them. I said, that wasn't Lair. He looked like he put on a few pounds. Damn. Okay, Tony's back there. I got that. It's McKinney. Everybody but Walls was back there. No, thank you. So then you talk about Mr. Rice, and he's not getting enough volume. Everybody else had popcorn before the game. You don't know if they're going to be able to catch the doggone ball. And then guess what on the other side? I don't trust that quarterback, not as far as he can throw it, but as far as Walls can throw him. No, thank you. So now you stuck with Mr. Jacobs against this team and this D-line that really ain't been giving up a whole lot. And for that reason, I'm out.
Wow. That was like a Shark Tank where he goes through all the reasons why he hates this company and says, I'm out. All right, Willie, can you care to disagree here? It's in a dome. Mahomes was embarrassed last week.
He was. And I'm embarrassed over his receivers that he got, that he has. I'm embarrassed. And truth be told, the Raiders, I mean, they play a little better at home. A little better at home. Listen, this is not your daddy's Mahomes. And it's not Mahomes. This is what he got around him. They did an awful job, and I mean awful, of the talent that they surrounded him. You expect to bring Boo Boo and make him into, you know, something that smelled like a good smelling perfume. Man, I'm gonna tell you, Kelsey, he playing around with what's his name too much, man. I am not paying that price for Kelsey. No way. I got other tight ends that I could pay for that are more, that makes more sense than this guy. I'm telling you, I agree with Swame. I'm out on the Chiefs because it's not like they stink, you know. And I'm not gonna pay the money for Kelsey. And I agree. I know it's a matchup for him, but man, I'm not. I mean, they throw the ball more when they get near the goal line than anybody. You know what I mean? That don't mean you're gonna get the ball for a touchdown. I mean, and now Mahomes is definitely a spreader. He spreads it to everybody.
Are you, before we go on to the next game, are you telling me that Kansas City probably won't score 30?
I'm not saying they're not scoring 30, but you'll have guys like one guy, he can throw it to 4 different receivers.
Okay, there you go. Okay, fair enough. So could you play Mahomes? Could you play naked Mahomes?
Doc, I heard you guys talking about that on First Look, and I get it. And there might be some anomalies this year statistically, but I still think it's low probability, right? It's not that it can't happen. We know anything can happen, right? You could play. We saw Ben Roethlisberger. We didn't think he was going to play. He was backing up that week, came in and threw 4 touchdowns. But it's still low probability. So some people can take these chances, whether it's their favorite team or they're able to get them into a lineup or they like them and just don't know what receivers to pick, like we saw with Purdy. But I don't think it's a high probability thing. And if you don't have a lot of lineups, then you better be a doggone Kansas City Chiefs fan. I don't like it.
All right, let's get to the Rams against the Cardinals. I like this game, fellas. I do. I like it. I think that Kyler Murray stunk last week. I do. He was good in the first quarter, and then it just got really bad. Sometimes I like going back to last week's player who pissed me off the most. The Rams play a really weak zone defense. They get beaten up by explosive plays. They're horrendous against tight ends, like really epically bad. There's no Michael Wilson this week. I think there's going to be a bunch of guys out there. So you're looking at Hollywood Brown. You're looking at Dortch. You're looking at Rondale Moore. On the other side, Puka Nacua, right? We don't know about Cooper Kupp. Kyron Williams is back. Willie, is this game going to explode with 2 crappy defenses?
Well, the one thing I don't like that came back is Kupp is going to play. You know, so now he, you know, from what I'm hearing that he's supposed to play now. So I'm not.
Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, he's supposed to play now. You know, so that throws a wrench. You know, because I was thinking about Nacua, and I'm like, man, so all my excitement went away. You know, but I do have interest on the other side. I do have interest in one of my favorite plays on the slate is Mr. Dortch. I like Mr. Dortch. I like his price point. I like his targets. Mr. Dortch. That dude got hurt. He's going to be in there, and he didn't play the whole game, and you saw how many targets he got. I light up when you talk about Mr. Dortch. Yes, I have some interest in Mr. Dortch, and I think McBride is in play, so that could be a little cheap 3-person stack. If you want to play Murray, run him with Dortch, and you run him, with McBride. You know, so that's a nice, cheap, 3-man stack. And if you want to run him back with Nacua, but like I said, when Kyron Williams, when they're back, all those guys are back, their prices are still up there. You know what I mean? So you're not getting no discounts. So if I'm going to pay for a receiver like that, I might as well go to that next game where I know there's going to be some explosiveness going to be happening in that game.
Well, I mean, I agree with most of what Willie said, but I don't want to overlook Puka Nacua, who, when he's right, he is right. And against this defense, he is going to be right. Hollywood Brown has not had that big play yet. It just feels like I believe people will be on the Bills-Eagles game, but they may not be on this game. Is this game being overlooked?
Doc, I'm gonna disagree with old Willie there. I think what I liked the most was the last time these two teams played. Cup had a huge game, 7 receptions, 148 yards, and I think even if he's affected a little bit by, missing practice this week and being bothered by that ankle injury, I think it could open it up for Nacua to have a decent game. So I would agree with Willie when he said that, hey, you can probably play Dortch or you could maybe look at playing McBride and then coming back with Puka Nacua, and I think that would be a very interesting stack. And I think it will have a chance, based on price, to really set you up for success.
All right, let's get to the big one here. I'm going to call it right now. I know a couple of my friends don't agree. I think the Bills are going to compete. I think the Bills might even win this game. This game feels like a letdown spot, a big letdown spot. You're looking ahead to San Francisco. You just beat the Chiefs. This is the team the Eagles have lost to the Jets, right? So it's not like the Eagles can't lose games. Really, I like Josh Allen. I like Hurts. I love me some Stephon Diggs. I love me some Kincaid. I will say this about Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis plays well when the Bills explode. He doesn't do well on his own. He needs everything to happen, and it happens with him. I like DeAndre Swift. There's not much I don't like in this game except James Cook. I don't like James Cook. But outside of that, I like this game a ton.
Yeah, I like this game a lot too. I think you could stack it a couple of ways. I think you could do a three-way stack where you could play Diggs, you could play Kincaid, you could play Shakur, and you could run him back with Swift. You could do it that way, or you could do Kincaid and you can do Diggs. But then let me say this: Diggs is going to get off. Diggs is pissed off. Diggs have had 2 crappy games in a row. Okay, so I know Diggs is they're going to find a way to get Diggs. Plus, they changed they fired the other coordinator. So you saw the Bills. That was a tough defense they went against last week. This Phillies pass defense is ass. I know what happened in that game. With Kansas City, that was bad weather. It was a bad weather game. But I just think that Josh Allen is one of my favorite quarterbacks on the slate. I think this is a matchup that he would do well in. I love Josh Allen in this game. I like Diggs. I'll think about Gabe. I'll think about him, but he's not on my main one. But I'm more interested in, the tight end, Diggs. You can run him back with Swift, or if you want to go with, you could do Jalen Hurts because what's the name had an awful game. Brown had an awful game. I don't think Brown's going to have 2 awful games in a row. So I think Brown is in play this week. After that game he had it, and Hurts missed him in it. He should have had a touchdown with him. So, but I just think this game, I like the Buffalo side more. My favorite option on the Eagles is Swift. I love Swift in this matchup. I really love Swift in this matchup. But I just think you could go many ways with Buffalo the way that stacked is. And I agree with you. I can't play Cook. I am not playing this running game against them. They got to go to the air. So this game I have interest in. I don't hear a lot of people like the other games, but I just think this game has I like quarterbacks that can pass. These are 2 good quarterbacks, and they got running potential, where they can run the ball too. So that's what I like about these 2 quarterbacks in here. So that's why I know we got the other stuff, but that's why I want value in those other games, because I do want to pay up in this game to get some fantasy goodness.
Swame, I'm agreeing with Willie. I just want to talk about the Eagles and see, A, do you like this game? B, why are we not thinking about Devonta Smith? I agree with Willie about DeAndre Swift. He's going to play well. Buffalo can't stop the run. But that Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken, they don't let number 1 receivers go off. they will try, maybe will they contain A.J. Brown, and maybe we're overlooking Devonta Smith just a little bit. Because there's no Dallas Goedert. I would have liked Dallas Goedert, but he's not playing. So what is your version here? How are you going to play this one?
Doc, first of all, let me read Willie's statement of charges. Willie, go ahead and come to attention for me. This general court martial is now in session. Willie Walls has been found guilty of a number of charges. One, exaggerating on stack. Did you say come back with Swift? First of all, Doc, let me just be honest. The answer is not just no. It is hell no, you can't stack this game. And I'll give you the number of reasons why you can't. The price is the obvious one. Let's just get that one out there. Doc, you're on to something. Doc, you are on to something. But I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm going to get to this joke up here in this other box. Hey, you in that other box. Yeah, you. I cannot believe you talked about full stack in this game. You can only be looking at cash at this point based on these prices.
No. Listen, you still, it depends on your construction. And see, that's why you can have in other games, listen, Swame, or Ask Ami, because you don't listen sometimes. Ooh. You can have other stuff in other games, sir. What I'm saying to you is this. Yes, I'm going to have a stack where I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have the value plays to go with it. But what I'm telling you is this game has back and forth. And I agree. Now, see, the thing that hurts Brown is when Goddard left out, now Devontae is in that role going underneath, in that underneath role. He's their guy. But they leaning more on Swift now since they don't have him. They're using Swift in other ways. And I think Swift has taken over that backfield. And they use Swift by the goal line. And that's why I like Swift in this game. I think Swift is going to be very important. And you can run the ball against the Bills. So that's why I said Swift, he is a two-way guy where he can pass it. But I also think at Josh Allen price at 8,100. I think it's a play. I think you can play, but that's why I say you could play secure and you can play Diggs. Diggs is in play. Diggs.
Instruct the jury to dismiss all of that. You didn't file for an objection. It's not your turns for a rebuttal. You
don't play that, but I'm playing this game. I think this game, and a lot of people might think the way you think, and I hope they are. I think this game could go off, and when this game has a 38 or 40 or 45 to 38 game, and you don't have this game, you're not going to win. Okay, so that's what I say, that you got two good quarterbacks in this game. I'm not saying you can, but you can still play the players and not have the quarterbacks. Remember that. You don't have you could play Minshew and have a stack, and then you could get these other guys in here. But what I'm saying to you is, I am definitely looking at this game where I'm going to have 2 or 3 pieces in this game. I'm telling you, I'm going to have pieces in this game.
Now
this game can go off. You can go off, and then if you don't have it, you're not going to win.
Now that you and both Tyrone have had monologues, let's get the other side of it. Good job, Tyrone, because I don't know how you're going to play both these running quarterbacks and Minshew. Maybe your lineup's a little bit different than everybody else's, but we can only play one quarterback. So you can't play these two.
But what I'm saying is you could take pieces from this game that these guys are. I think Diggs is going off. I think Diggs would get a 35 burger in this
full
game.
Stack then with your pieces.
I'm not saying that. I said no. You can play that. You can play that. You could play. What I'm saying is you could play Allen. You could play Shakur. You could play Diggs, and you could run it back with Swift. That's why I said Swift.
Right. Swami, what do you want to do in this game, Swami? Tell me how you want to play it.
I think if you're playing this game, I think Mr. Diggs is probably the best player in the game. And follow behind him, I like Devonta Smith and then Kincaid. Everything else I'm striking from the right. This is going to be a great game to watch, no question. It's going to be the best game on the slate to watch. But both defenses and both teams are just better than what you're giving them credit for. This isn't no 70, 80-point game here. These teams are better than that. This is going to be more of a scrap. It's going to be point scored, but this is going to be a little bit more of a scrap. Don't be surprised if these kickers get involved in this 2 or 3 kicks that they're making, because –
But sorry, Willie is right in one thing. You could be looking back at 7:30 saying if you didn't have this game, you've lost. You can't say that about any other game on this slate. You can say that about this game.
Doc, I think me and you can make
Philadelphia's pass defense is poor.
I think
if you saw that Dallas game, all you have to do is look at that Dallas game. Their pass defense sucks.
Right.
They suck. You can't go by what Mahomes, the guy dropped a touchdown. They dropped 9 balls in that game. You got to look at that game in Kansas. Look at the Kansas City game. They dropped 9 balls. The guy was open in the end zone, wide open. That's what Philadelphia gives up. Their secondary sucks.
He's still
That's
going.
their weakness. The Bills' strength is passing.
And yet and still, with their strength of passing, Josh Allen has had 14 points against the New York Giants. He's only had 17 points against Denver. He had 23 in another game, 22 in another game. It's not what you're thinking. He hasn't had these games. You can't just
that is true. He hasn't had the 35-point game.
This is the thing, guys. I know what Josh Allen is capable of, and that's what I hope everybody's thinking like you're thinking.
Not in big games.
I'm gonna have some Josh Allen because I think Josh Allen can go off in this game. I think Josh Allen can get 30 points. He can run one score, and I'm just telling you, Josh Allen is going to be a man of interest in this slate for me. You don't have to play him. Don't play him at all.
Here's the one thing I disagree with you, Willie, because trust me, I'm looking at my team here, and I have a Bills stack. You can't stack this game like you think. It's really hard. It's really hard. I can't get Kincaid in with Allen, with Diggs, with Swift. It's virtually impossible. Now I can get. I'm telling you, I'm looking at it.
You got some value with you got value in other games like with Downs. You got value. You got value in other games.
So hold on. I'm going to put exactly what you said here. Okay. Right. I'm going to put. Give me a second because I want to get it right. So here's what I'm starting with, Willie. Okay. I'm starting with Kincaid, Diggs, Swift, Josh Allen. Okay. Now you like your dude Dortch, so we'll get him in there.
And if you got those 3 with Dortch and Downs, you should take that lineup and put it on some paper like this and take it to the Porta-John with you. Because that's all.
You like Rashad White. I know you do. So now that gives me about $3,000, maybe close to $4,000. I think I can get this done. Who's your favorite defense, Willie?
Oh, we're going. First of all, who do you got in the lineup so far?
I got Allen, Swift, Rashad White, Diggs, Dortch, Kincaid.
All right. No. Leave out Kincaid. Go to Shakir at 3,600.
Okay. I will put Shakir in there. Who's your tight end?
The tight end is going to be put McBride in there.
Okay, I like where you're going. So I've got 4,300. Who's your defense? I got more than 4,300.
The defense, I can go with. Hold on, I'm looking at the defenses right now.
Chiefs.
The defenses, I could go with. Actually, with the Texans playing at home, I don't mind taking a shot with the Texans.
Okay, so now I have $6,000 for a flex.
All right, and then you got a couple of people you can have to hit because you got the running backs. 0-1. Because
I've got Rashad White already in there. Who do you want? Do you want Ford? Do you want Kirk?
Yeah. You could have a Singletary.
Okay, so I don't know about Singletary because Pierce may be back.
Yeah. Oh, if Pierce is back, forget that. But the point being, Doc, I'm going
to put in James Conner for argument's sake. Okay, so your team would be Allen, Swift, Rashad White, Diggs, Dortch, Shakir, McBride, Conner, and Houston. You like it?
I like it, but I might like even more. It's going to be other value that's going to open up that we don't see right now. It could be Ridley.
You like the gist of that lineup,
right? I mean, I like Allen. I'm going to take a shot. I'm taking a shot with Josh Allen. But what I'm also going to do, Doc, is just
that lineup only has 117 points, Swame.
There you go. That's what I'm about to say, and that's tops. I even gave
no.
40.
But listen, I'm going to take some stacks like that. But I'm also going to take some stacks when I got the cheaper stacks when I play Miss You. That's the whole point. But my point is, I'm going to have 2 or 3 guys.
Based off of you're going to play 10 different ways. What is it going to be, man? Call it.
No, but I told you that up front, sir. So shut your mouth up because you switch stuff up too. So shut it up, shut it down. Don't want to hear it. You are full of do and do. You're the
All
one.
right. Swami, here's a $100 bill. Who's your stack?
$100 bill, Doc. I know we talked about it a little bit, but I'm gonna still take a chance. I'm not gonna go take the easy route here, like I think Mr. Walls is going to do. I'm not gonna say. You know what?
Say it.
I'm gonna say it.
Say it.
I said this before. I said this week, and y'all didn't believe me. I'm only concerned because I don't know what shape that Kyron Williams kind of ruined my stack here. So I have to go away from my Rams because his pricing error is throwing off my thing. If he would have been priced where he should have been priced this week, I would have comfortably said, my Rams stack. I gave it to y'all that week, and y'all didn't believe me when it happened week 6. But anyway, so I'm going to have to change that, Doc, and I'm going to have to go.
No. Ass milk.
Take your time, Swami. We got all night.
Yeah, I just got to go to work. That's all.
Yeah.
Give me
This is good radio.
Give me for the $100.
It's not like it's $10,000. It's $100.
For $100, I'm gonna have to go. Oh, Doc, you boxed me in here. I'm gonna have to go with.
Woo!
Give me Trevor Lawrence. Kirk.
All right, we have a Jaguar stack. Willie, you doing the Bills?
No, I'm gonna go different because I like the Bills, but I'm gonna go miss you. I'm gonna go Pittman and bring it back with Rashad White, and then I'm gonna give some of the Bills and the other stuff in that stack because I got the money.
I like the Cardinals stack. I think they're my sneaky stack of the week. All right, balls to the calls wall from Willie Walls. Who you got?
Dortch.
How is that a ball?
Dortch.
It's an easy punt call. It takes no.
Whoa, sir! You ain't say none of it. Did I see him in your article?
You saying it because he got 10?
Did I see him in your article? Ask the question. Ask the question. Ask the question. Was he in your article? Okay.
All right, Swami says.
I'm going with Christian Kirk this week.
Love me some Christian Kirk.
I'm doing Kirk. If he can do
love. Did I mention love?
I don't have chalk, sir. He's not chalk.
He is extra chalk.
He is not.
With Wilson out, he's going to have chalk. Well, get out of here.
I love Christian Kirk. I want to have him every allowed.
Hey, let me give you another one.
Trevor wakes up and says,
King Henry.
I said King Henry too. I love King Henry.
No, he don't like him.
What's the visionary plays? I'm tired of him and Tyrone.
2,900 Pat Freiermuth will be in a lineup that has either Allen or Hurts or Mahomes or somebody. He's going to be that tight end that if Pickett finds him like he used to for another 6 for 46 and a touchdown, you got 16 points for a dude who's 2,900. That guy could be the play of the week. Could be.
And I want Josh Allen to stick it to him because he talked about Josh Allen that he's not going to do nothing against Philly. Go ahead. All
right, let's get Willie out of here. For Swami, Doc, and Willie, be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.